Hi there, tradie. You downloaded the tradie cost calculator. So I'm assuming you have a team. I'm assuming you want to understand how much they cost you so you can decide how much you need to charge and understand your margins. That's part of understanding your numbers and making sure your business is profitable as you grow it. And that's important, right? Now, understanding your numbers is part of doing business properly. And I'm hoping that's kind of why you're here, because you want to do business properly, you want to grow your business properly, and you want to see if I should be the man to help you. This video should help. It's about 7 minutes. It's quite short, so it's only got some of the answers, but it should be enough to help you decide if you want to take the next step and find out some more. Okay, I'm going to focus on what might be going on for you right now. So, if you want to understand how to do business properly, what do I mean by properly? Well, I mean profitably. I mean without you working too hard. I mean without you suffering too much stress. And I mean with people in their jobs doing a good job and kind of liking it there. Okay, is that what you want? You're a tradie, you're a builder, you run a business, you've started growing, you have a team already, and you're at least around 30k a month. And the reason we put that number in there is because coaching is quite expensive, and you need to be having enough revenue to pay for the coaching, but also to start hiring the people and doing this kind of work. Until you're at 30, you shouldn't be spending this kind of cash. Is this you? Right? You're hitting some speed bumps now, aren't you, as you've started to grow? You're probably working pretty hard, pretty long hours. Perhaps you're spending lots of time on the tools and doing admin and quoting and invoicing around that, maybe even as much time as possible on the tools, because that's how you make money for yourself, and fitting all that work in around the edges. That's stressful. Maybe you feel like everything goes a bit to shit if you're not on site with the guys. So, doing sales or marketing or quoting or whatever feels like cheating or feels risky or stressful. Maybe you work hard, but you seem to have less money than when it was just you. That's very common. Maybe it's even worse than that, and you struggle to pay everything sometimes. Maybe cash flow isn't what it could be. Maybe you don't know why. Sometimes there's money, sometimes there isn't. That's stressful, isn't it? Maybe you don't really understand your numbers. That's why you don't know if you're profitable or not, or sometimes there's money and sometimes there isn't. Maybe you're not really confident in your pricing or your estimating. Maybe you're not very confident when you're selling, when you're in front of your customers, explaining your quote, or maybe when you're doing your quoting. Okay, maybe you're not confident when you're doing those things. And maybe sometimes you're busy and sometimes you're not so much, it dries up. And that's not fun, is it? You don't want people standing around twiddling their thumbs, right? You've got people's wages to pay. That's very stressful. Now, I could go on. I'm sure there are other things. You could be experiencing some or all of the frustrations or speed bumps I've just explained. Now, growing a business, a trade business or a building business can be challenging, especially if you're kind of winging it when it comes to business. And what happens when you're doing that is there's a shift that occurs. Okay, at first, when you start your business, you do all the work, you get all the money, kind of it doesn't matter. But as you start hiring people and more of your team are doing more of the work and you're doing less, it becomes more important. You have to pay them. The money starts to become more important. If when you're doing the work yourself and getting all the money yourself, doesn't matter. If you underquote, don't charge enough, fuck up your estimating, doesn't matter so much. But when you're paying someone else to do it, it does matter, right? If you underquote, don't charge enough, or if you estimate incorrectly, or if you have people standing around with no work to do, twiddling their thumbs, but still having to be paid, that's going to hit you in the bank account, and that's not nice. So that's the first constraint, okay? First roadblock, if you like, and your growth. Money holds you back from growing if you haven't got it right. The second one, as you keep growing, because you're doing a good job, is capacity, right? Capacity constraint rears its head. Your business's capacity for doing the work and your personal capacity for doing the work to get the business, the work to get the work to manage it, the admin, the quoting, the managing the money, all that sort of stuff. And then the third constraint is systems. That's the last one. There are only three. You've heard of systems, I'm sure. You know what they are. You need them to grow. I've talked about them. Well, which ones do you need? What exactly is a system? Where do you start? I'm sure thoughts are going through your head. What does that mean, really? Right, especially if money's less abundant than you'd like, then you're too bloody busy because you don't have capacity. It's very difficult to start building systems. So you kind of have to address them in the order: money, capacity, systems. Now, some people give it away here. They put it in the too hard basket. They shrink back down to where it was more enjoyable and less stressful and less anxiety inducing. Others kind of stay here sort of stuck and frustrated. But, surprise, there's a third way. Of course, there's a third way. I'm a business coach. You can grow. You can fix the money and the capacity constraints without everything going to shit, without your customers ditching you. And you can build systems that support you and your team as you build the business, as you grow the business. Now, how big you grow is up to you, right? This isn't necessarily about getting to tens of millions. This is about getting through that difficult, don't really have systems patch. Okay? business with a flow of work coming in at decent margins, with all the admin and the money and the people getting managed and everybody kind of happy to be there, is honestly possible and achievable. I say it with a straight face, it really is, okay? It's not difficult even. There's work involved, of course there's work involved, and there's discomfort involved, because you're going to have to let go of things and ways of doing things that are dear to you right now and that feel uncomfortable to change. So there's discomfort involved. But I'm telling you, it's doable if you do the work and if you make the changes. Now, Matt and his dad came to me maybe 5-6 years ago, and they took their business that was less than $1 million a year back then and was lumpy, right? Had, busy periods and then periods where they had no work for their guys to do. And they've taken it to 4 million. It'll be 4 million this year, right? With a 10% net profit margin and 2 good salaries for them, right? Both being paid well and a 10% net profit margin on 4 bill. So you can do it, right? That's someone who's really done it. They did the work. They've pushed on through and they're happy. There's another one, Mike. He's an electrical subcontractor. So construction, again, electrical for residential construction, took his business from $300K a year, so about $30K a month, to $1 million a year now. And he'll go beyond that this year, maintaining and even growing his profit margin past 10%, to the level of 12. Right? And I can help. Of course, I can help. Right? My business coaching program can help. I hope you deal with the constraints you have now and the new ones that come up as you change things and grow. Okay, because new ones do come up. You fix one, another one appears as you grow. Okay, I'll help you build the systems and the structure that will give you a business that's an actual pleasure to run and to be in. Right, that still does great work because that's important. Still has happy customers because that's important, and happy staff because that's important, and that doesn't need you kind of right in the guts of it all the time, because who wants that? Now, the benchmark, I'm saying, is you working a normal 40-hour week, paid a market wage for your role, which kind of increases as your business grows, and making that 10% profit, a profit of 10% of the revenue. And like I said before, with people in their jobs, doing a good job, liking it, supported by those systems and the structure that you built along the way. How does that sound? Is that something you want? What I say, of course, is business coaching. You'll figure out what to do with my help. You'll make a plan. You'll write it down. I'll teach you how to do the things you don't know, and I'll push you to do the things that are uncomfortable and you don't want to do. There's rhythm. There's accountability. There's a community of other tradies and builders helping you do the work as well. Right? Some of them have done it already. Some of them are further down the journey and can give you the confidence and the push along as well as me. And that's important, right? It's all about helping you do the things that will give you the business you want. Okay, that's very important. It's the doing. The learning is important. The doing is more important. Okay, that will give you the great business, the one you want. So it's about, if you think you might be interested in it, please book a call. I've called it a constraints buster call. I'm not very good at names. Okay, I'm going to help you bust those constraints. We'll talk about which ones you're suffering and whether we think our framework can help. Okay, it's 10 minutes. So it's a qualification call. It's a quick 10 minutes. If we get through it and we decide we're a fit, we'll have a proper meeting, a strategy session. That's a proper hour. And that's when you decide if you're in or not. In between those calls, there's some videos to watch so you can learn a bit more about what you're in for if you do it. Importantly, I'll give you a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you jump in and you commit yourself and you decide it's not for you or you hate it, I'll give you your money back. Okay, so I'm trying to make this low risk so you can decide. So if you think you might be interested in that, the question you need to ask yourself, I think, is, do I want this? Do I want to grow that business properly? And do I want to see if John can help me and book that next call? If the answer is yes, there's a thing over there somewhere. Go ahead and book the call. See ya.